The crystalline chimes that served as Kethara's doorbell had been silent for 63 cycles. No visitor dared disturb a mother in the depths of mourning, especially not one whose daughter had fallen in the brutal siege of Proxima Station. The Veltari community respected grief as sacred, allowing it to run its natural course through the seasons. So when the chimes sang their ethereal melody that gray morning, Kethara's forearms trembled as she approached the entrance to her dwelling. Her bioluminescent patches, dim with sorrow for so long, flickered uncertainly beneath her translucent skin. Through the viewing panel, she saw an impossible sight. A human, standing awkwardly on her doorstep, cradling something precious against its chest. Humans were rare in Veltari space, and this one looked battle-worn, its clothing patched and its face marked by the harsh lines that came from seeing too much war. "Honored Mother Kethara?" the human asked when she opened the door, its voice rough but respectful. The translator implant rendered the alien words into her native tongue, but she could hear the careful pronunciation of her name in the original syllables. "My name is Sergeant Marcus Chen, Terran Colonial Marines. I believe this belongs to you." The human shifted, revealing what it carried. Kethara's world stopped. It was Lithara's stasis pod, the emergency life preservation unit every soldier carried into battle. But where the status indicators should have shown the cold blue of death, they pulsed with the warm amber of deep healing sleep. "That's impossible," Kethara whispered, her voice breaking across 3 harmonic frequencies. The reports said, "They said there were no survivors from the 73rd Battalion. No survivors at all." Sergeant Chen's weathered face softened. "Ma'am, with respect, your daughter didn't die in that battle. She saved my entire platoon and nearly got herself killed doing it. But humans, we don't leave anyone behind. That's not who we are." Kethara's legs gave out. Her forearms reached out instinctively as she sank to the floor, and the human, this strange alien being, immediately knelt beside her, carefully placing the stasis pod within reach of her trembling hands. "Tell me," she managed to say. "Tell me what happened to my daughter." Chen settled more comfortably on the floor, showing no concern for the dignity of his uniform. "Your daughter, Lieutenant Lithara, was assigned as our liaison during the defense of Proxima Station. The Krexhai had us surrounded, outnumbered 20-1. Command had written us off, told us to make our last stand count." His eyes grew distant, remembering. "But your daughter, she wouldn't accept that. She knew the station's infrastructure better than any of us. When our position became untenable, she led us through maintenance shafts that should have been too small for humans. Guided us past Krexhai patrols using her knowledge of their thermal vision patterns." Kethara touched the stasis pod with one trembling hand, feeling the gentle vibration that meant life persisted within. "We made it to the evacuation point," Chen continued. "But the transport had been damaged. Could only take half our numbers." Lithara took one look at the situation and started rewiring the power systems. "Dangerous work. One wrong connection and the whole thing would have gone critical." The human's voice grew thick with emotion. "She made it work, though. Got that transport running at 150% capacity. Enough for all of us. But the power surge overloaded her environmental suit. By the time we got her to safety, she was in complete system failure." Kethara's bioluminescent patches began to glow brighter, hope and grief warring in her chest. "But she lived? Barely. Our medics worked for 18 hours straight to stabilize her enough for the stasis pod. Then we faced a choice." Chen met her eyes directly, human to alien, parent to parent. Fleet Command wanted to process her through standard military medical channels. Could have taken years to get her back to Veltari space, if ever. He gestured to the pod. "I told Command they could court-martial me if they wanted. I requested emergency leave, used my own ship, burned through half my savings on jump fuel. Your daughter saved 37 human lives, ma'am. The least we could do was bring her home." Tears, the crystal droplets that Veltari wept, fell from Kethara's eyes and chimed softly as they hit the floor. "You came all this way. For my daughter?" "Not just for her," Chen said quietly. "For you. I've got a daughter too back on Terra. If something happened to her, if some alien soldier brought her home to me, I'd want to know that there are still people in this galaxy who understand what family means." Kethara began the activation sequence for the stasis pod with shaking hands. The medical readouts showed cellular repair at 94% completion. Her daughter would wake soon, would heal fully, would come home. "The doctors say she'll make a complete recovery," Chen added. Might have some interesting new insights into human physiology after our medics worked on her. But she'll be fine. As the stasis field began to dissipate, Kathara looked up at this human who had traveled across half the galaxy to return her child. "Why?" she asked simply. "Your people barely know us. We're allies, but not family." Sergeant Chen stood slowly, brushing dust from his uniform. "Maybe that's where you're wrong, ma'am. Maybe family isn't about species or biology. Maybe it's about the choices we make when everything's on the line." The stasis pod chimed and Lithara's eyes fluttered open. The first thing she saw was her mother's face glowing with joy. The second was a tired human soldier saluting respectfully. "Welcome home, Lieutenant," Chen said softly. As Kathara embraced her daughter with all four arms, she realized something profound had changed in the galaxy. The old boundaries between species, between us and them, seemed suddenly arbitrary, because here was proof that humanity understood something fundamental, that love transcends every difference, that courage knows no species, and that sometimes bringing someone home is the most human thing you can do. The Velthari had a new phrase in their language now, one that would be passed down through generations: human-hearted, meaning one who never leaves family behind, no matter how far they have to travel, no matter what it costs. And in the warmth of her reunion with her daughter, Kathara understood that the universe had just become a little more hopeful, one human heart at a time.